is the 911 Calls Podcast with the operator.
It's a female and a male, and they keep ringing our doorbell.
Oh, hello, Sam.
Hello.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Are you excited? Are you like, do you have tons of Riz because we're going to go to a party? No cap. Shh. I don't know what you're talking about. Shh. Okay. Hey, so your stepdad, he's a cop.
Yeah.
Does he ever tell you crazy stories?
No, I don't think I've heard one thing from his job.
You're kidding. He never talks about it?
No.
You should go up to him sometime and be like, you should be like, I heard being a cop's all sus. IYK.
Okay. Can you stop?
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Do you like your stepdad though?
Yeah, he's not in the force anymore. He just does training now.
Oh yeah, so his stories probably aren't that crazy. He's like,
yeah.
He'd be like, one time on PowerPoint slide number 9.
Pretty much. He likes it though. He likes it better. So.
All right, here's a question for you. In your life, what's the most sketch thing that you've ever seen go down?
Okay, I'm not sure. Because Katie hates Rhodes Skate Park downtown a lot. But the story's just too good not to share.
Okay, I'm all for it.
Okay, so I went in the morning because it was less crowded there. Usually just like a few skaters. But this day in particular, I showed up and there's just like a line of like probably 30 cops just down Americana Road in that one street. Like nobody knows where this is, but
just to clarify, just to fill the people in that are listening, where you are on the mean streets of Boise, Idaho is where you are. You're in the mean streets.
It's right next to the homeless encampment for downtown. It's under a bridge.
It's under a bridge. It's under an overpass.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is where the skate park is. Okay. So people can visualize. It's kind of there's a couple cross streets right there.
Yeah.
And you're saying that there were like 30 cop cars just like lined up?
Yeah, kind of lined up both on like the exit ramp from the freeway and then down like every single road surrounding the skate park and the homeless encampment.
You're that good? Sorry. Anyway, what happened?
So anyways, like I found out that they I hadn't been to Rhodes in a while and I found out they tore up the parking lot. So you have to park like kind of in this alleyway.
Okay.
But in this case, the parking lot in front of the skate park usually has like 4 spots. But because it was early in the morning, there was only like 2 people there. So I was able to get a spot right in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And the homeless people they stay off of the skate park, except sometimes they'll stay on the benches at night.
Oh, okay.
And they're non-violent.
Most of the homeless people?
Yeah, like
they just don't have homes, right? They're not
they
crazy.
like drug problems and stuff. So some of them are tweaking out, but yeah.
That's normal. That's not sus, right?
It is sus, but like you just gotta ignore it.
Okay.
You don't want to be like, "Oh, you good?"
You don't want to be doing that because otherwise they'd be bussing.
Yeah. So,
right.
Anyways, I got done riding. I was like, sit in my car, had my bike in there. I was about to leave. I was just getting the map ready because there's a few closed roads and I didn't know how to get back to the freeway. So I'm just sitting there and I see this like little like tweaker lady, and there was like once again the line of cop cars.
Yeah.
But in this case they moved to like another street, so there was only one cop car.
Uh-huh.
She was just running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth on the sidewalk.
Oh really?
And I see the cop turns their lights on. She's still running back and forth, like trying to figure out if she wants to dash or not.
Oh, it's like she's thinking about running.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then next thing I know, she starts running straight towards my car. And I'm thinking, well, she's a little lady, so what I'm just going to do is grab the keys, get out, and let the cop come and get her, because she's not going to be able to hotwire my car with how close the cop is.
Good idea. Good idea. So you were thinking, all right, I'm gonna let her get in the car, but I'll get out of the car.
Yeah, I'll take the keys and get out.
That's very noble of you. Okay.
Because no reason to fight it. And she's too
She's tweaking.
She's too bugged out to.
Okay. You could have whoop, whoop, and locked her in there, even keep her safe.
Yeah, that would have been so funny.
Sealed for her
Yeah,
freshness.
but the cop was like, I kind of like caught a glance at him, and he's just like, really, because it's like a little
Tiny.
yeah, a little tiny tweaker lady trying to run from a cop. And next thing I know, she just turns down this one alleyway, and the cop was still like chasing her slowly, just until she got tired. I didn't see the rest.
He's just
I
walking.
didn't see the rest of it, but I'm like, okay, I'll leave. I've been to Rhodes a few times since then. It hasn't been that bad. But
Now, Rhodes is just a road. That's the name of the skate park.
Mhm.
Okay.
Underneath two roads. So,
Two roads. Right. Yeah. No, that's true. There's actually the mission home, the homeless mission is right there.
Mhm.
And the soup kitchen.
Yeah.
And then the homeless encampment. I think they broke it up though, didn't they? I mean, there
I don't
was
know.
like
I'm not homeless. I don't.
There was a whole tent city down that direction, but I think they.
Yeah,
they've
I
since
think
kinda
that's what they've been working on.
Did you know? Fun fact, and share that I.
Or was homeless?
No, I wasn't homeless. Almost homeless. $600 a month.
Hooray.
You were 3, so you don't remember. So it's all good.
We've been pretty close to there.
Yeah,
Being older though.
that's part of being an entrepreneur, right? Living the dream.
Hooray.
No, but I managed apartments right there.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of apartments right down there, and I managed those. And one time, whenever we put out the sign that said that we had apartments for rent, because we were right there near the unhomed,
Mhm.
there were a lot of times where people would break into our empty apartments and sleep in there. And most of the time, I mean, if there wasn't any damage or anything, it's just kind of just what happened. But this one time, this homeless guy broke into an apartment and he thought it was empty, but a dude lived there. He just lived real low to the ground, like didn't have a bed, didn't have any furniture, just had a couple pots and pans and some snacks. So this guy thought it was empty. Yeah, you'd think he was a college student, but no, he just lived real simply. But this homeless guy broke in when he wasn't there.
Mhm.
And he was staying there thinking that this was an empty apartment.
Mhm.
And the guy came home and the homeless guy wouldn't leave. And it took them, I kid you not, like, because they let me know, because I was the manager, they let me know like right away that this was going down. But it took them like 9 hours to get him out. And not just because like he was barricaded in or anything, but they kept coming and updating me saying, well, we've got to get a judge to sign off on having the sheriff approach him and remove him from the premises and all this. And it was really weird. It wasn't like, it didn't feel like what Hollywood makes it out to be, like a normal breaking and entering.
Mhm.
It was like all legal. It was weird. Like the sheriff had to show up and like
Yeah.
remove him under article something or other. It wasn't just breaking and entering. It was odd. It
Yeah.
made you kind of think, oh, maybe we don't always have complete control over the domain that we think we have control over. You hear about it all the time anymore. Like people go and squat a home and you can't, and it's so hard to just get them out. And
What I would do, so I would just go in there and they can catch a fade.
catch a fade.
Then
And they would respond accordingly.
yeah, then you give them the biggest fade
Just
of
give
the
them fade
century.
Of the century.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you put them out.
Yeah, and then you like just throw them out the window.
Throw them out okay. I'll remember that. I'll remember catch a fade.
That should work.
I will look up what that means and then maybe we'll employ it next time I rent apartments.
I don't want to show you what catch a fade means.
You want to show me?
No, I don't.
Don't want to show me because I'm your
No.
dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it have something to do with would you be charged with assault if I caught a fade from you? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Let's not do that on the show. All right. So let's get into this because we were talking about catching fades and most sketch thing you've ever seen. And I had a lot of wild encounters when I was renting apartments. People each one is an individual, beautiful snowflake, and you never know what every day is going to bring. But so picture this. You're in High Point, North Carolina, and you're just cruising down Mossy Meadow Drive. Okay, that's in High Point, so makes sense. It's one of those streets that's so quiet you can hear a squirrel sneeze, like that kind of quiet peace. Peace, it's kind of the place where the biggest scandals probably someone mowing their lawn before 10 a.m. on a Saturday or something like that. So you're on Mossy Meadow Drive, and then out of nowhere, this neighborhood becomes the backdrop for a story that's more twisted than a pretzel in a yoga class. All right. Like, you think Downward Dog is crazy. Wait till you hear what happened on Downward Drive. All right. Don't worry. It'll be over soon.
Thank you.
Okay, first off, here's the buildup to this thing. From one angle, it's like the beginning of a horror movie, okay? But from another angle, as you'll hear, everything seems fine and kids are playing, birds are chirping, but there's this ominous music that's playing in the background, hinting that there's about something that's about to go south. And then things go south.
Did you have ChatGPT write the script?
Shut up. No, I did it. Maybe it helped me. I don't know.
I don't know. It seems like you wrote it.
I wrote some of it. I did.
I think you wrote all of it.
I did. I did. I wrote it all. I did. I'll take credit for it. Thanks.
Good for you. I'm not a good writer.
And then things go south, but nobody is aware of just how south things are going to go. Not even the people involved, which is about as south as you can get when you're dealing with something that's going south. Like, being part of it is the southest.
Southest south of the south of the south.
That's exactly right. Fun fact. Do you know where we got the phrase, everything's going south?
Civil War.
Good call. Yeah. It comes from a situation that's deteriorated. Did you say it was zesty?
The South was zesty.
South was zesty. Okay, I'll have to look that up to see what exactly was going on in the South.
The hooded men, they're zesty. They can catch a fade.
Racism, they could catch a fade. Yeah. Okay, I'm catching on. IYK, right? Fist bump. Cool. So it has to do with the situation that's deteriorated or failed or gotten really bad. And it was associated with negative outcomes like the Civil War for the South. It was a negative outcome. So fun facts I want to share. I thought, now add that to your word list as a Gen Zer. Try that one out on your friends. Be like, man.
It's all going south, but the South means Civil War, like going like bad south. Should I say that every time I say going south?
Yeah. Be like, hey, oh man, things are going south. Pull up.
You sound like young Sheldon sometimes.
I don't know who young Sheldon is.
Like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
Oh, okay.
Like the little one. Like he's really annoying.
He got younger?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd that happen?
It's a prequel.
Oh, prequel TV show to The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah. You kind of remind me of him.
Bet.
But like less science, like less smart.
Shoot. Okay.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I'm not smart either.
You're really smart. Anyway, the day of the incident was January 9th, 2023. So that was just a shade over a year ago. And it began like any other day in the Crayton household. Yet the undercurrents of a brewing storm were palpable. Do you know what palpable means?
Do you have a fun fact for that one?
Nah, just you can feel it. That's it.
So I can feel the fun fact?
Yeah, you can feel it. You can feel it right now. You can feel how fun that fact was. It's palpable. So, previous calls to the Crayton residence, dating back to 2014, including domestic disputes and the significant involuntary commitment that took place of an individual in the Crayton household back in January 2022. So a year prior to this.
Mm-hmm.
somebody was committed involuntarily, meaning that they were put into a mental health clinic.
Oh, I see.
Okay. So there's this pattern. There's kind of this pattern of dysfunction and distress in the house, and it's been going on for a long time. So 2014 to 2023.
So this was last year.
This one happened last year.
All right.
Yeah.
Got some new ones.
So the neighbors around the Crayton home would later recount that early morning events, two individuals, desperate and fearful, started banging on people's doors, all the neighbors' doors, and they were pleading for help because they were saying that something really intense was going down. That was, I hate to say it, but it was pretty sus in the Crayton house.
This is just such a swell conversation.
Thanks. So here's how sus things were getting. No cap. One of them woke to find a gun pointed at his head. So this motivated two of the household members to escape the house frantically. Next thing you know,
That's no good.
no, they're pounding on doors. They're trying to wake people. They're trying to get.
Why was the gun in the person's face?
Good question. Would you like to hear?
Yes, I would like to hear the answer to that question that I just asked.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Well, I'll play you the first call. So here, if you're ready, here we go.
Hello, there's someone knocking a lot of times in front of my house saying someone tried to kill them.
Someone's trying to kill. Okay, where are you at? Give me one. Are they still outside right now?
Yeah, they're like, we opened our window because we didn't want to open the door.
Okay. Give me a second. I'll go ahead and get notes in for the officers. Okay.
Okay.
And you said they're saying someone wants to kill them, or do they want to kill themselves?
Yeah, it's a female and a male, and they keep ringing our doorbell. They won't move from.
Okay. Are they?
Front
Do you know
door.
if they're white, black, Asian, Hispanic?
They're black.
Both black.
Yeah.
Can you see what they're wearing by chance?
No. My name is. Yes.
Okay. What's your last name?
My last name.
Okay. What's a good phone number for you? Okay. And by chance, do you know them at all? Anything like that?
No. The guy, I just seen the guy was wearing burgundy shorts.
Burgundy shorts.
Yes.
Any? Do you know if he's wearing a hoodie, a shirt?
He doesn't have a shirt on.
No shirt, no hoodie, no nothing.
Yeah. No, nothing.
What about the females?
The girl is wearing black shorts and it looks like a black shirt as well. And they're from going house to house right now. They just left her house and they're in front of our neighbors knocking.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
Do you know your neighbor's address real quick?
No.
Okay. Are they left or right of your house or across?
Across, but to the left.
All right, we're going to have people come out there. If anything is to change, go
Okay.
ahead and give us a call back, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. All right.
Bye.
Okay, so the heart of the matter here,
Mm-hmm.
I know what you're thinking. You want to spend a little time talking about his drip. Nope. I thought we'd have a lot to talk about there because he didn't have a shirt on and he was wearing burgundy. But apparently that's not on it's for real. Okay. For real.
Can you stop? Actually. So what I want you to do for the rest of this episode,
Okay. Sorry.
don't say a thing from that list.
Okay.
Not one thing.
All right, fine. I won't.
Please.
So drip will be the last one that I say. What do you think? So is that acceptable drip to be wandering around in a neighborhood with?
I don't know what I'll have to see a picture.
Okay. I'll try to find one for you. So the heart of this issue that unfolded came from the Crayton household.
So the Craytons are the house with like all the
Props.
with the problems.
Yeah.
Is the person calling from a different house, like a neighbor's house, or the?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these two individuals started banging on everybody's door, and they were trying to get somebody to help them.
Yeah.
And they were saying that there was gunfire, and kind of quite a chaotic situation because they weren't just knocking on one person's door. They were knocking on a bunch of people's doors trying to figure this out.
Yeah. So were the two people from the Crayton house?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I see.
I'm not quite sure how I would process that, but one of the most unimaginable things ended up taking place that nobody could have seen coming right after that. Do you know what that is?
No, because you haven't told me.
Ads. We got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So here's some ads.
Here you guys go.
Okay. Thanks for coming back after the ads. Thanks for still being here. You really didn't have a choice, but the audience did. So there are more witnesses calling in now. So let's jump into the next call, shall we?
All right.
Okay. Here is call number 2.
Okay.
5.911, where's your emergency? What's going on?
Someone's been shot. They're at my front door. I'm just talking to them through the camera. There's 2 people, a man and a woman. They are in our driveway.
Okay. What do they look like?
27. It's an African American woman. She has dreadlocks, and an African American man. He doesn't have a shirt on. He's got on some basketball shorts, and she's in socks.
And he's saying that he's been shot?
No, there's someone else that's been shot.
Okay.
Were you shot, ma'am, or was he shot?
We were not shot. Someone was shot in the house, so I don't know who.
Somebody was shot in the house at 2734.
2734?
Yes. I'm sorry, you can't come inside.
All right, we're getting everyone started, okay?
Okay, thank you. All right, I called the police for you. They're on their way. You're welcome.
Okay, so that right there, that kind of introduces an interesting wrinkle here that I think is it kind of, I don't know, mess with my head a little bit. Let me ask you, so what do you think of the approach that these callers who are in their houses are having and dealing with regard to the victims on their porches? Would you have let them in?
Hard to say. I don't know what they look like. So, but like, they don't sound violent. So
No, they don't sound violent.
like I say just let them in.
Yeah,
Violent.
I don't know. It's kind of that, like, it's ingrained in all of us at some point, but that whole kind of don't talk to strangers thing, you know? It's like,
Sounds like one of them shot though. So
yeah, and as well, or that they were claiming that there were shots fired, because neither one of them had been shot. They were only talking about some other house where there were shots fired and someone was being killed. So as a homeowner, I'd be torn, I think, because I'd be like, oh, well, I want to help as much as possible, but there's no evidence or proof other than the fact that both of these people are probably very stressed as to what their intentions are. So at first I was really frustrated. I was like, just let them in. Jeez. It seemed like everybody was like keeping the victims at arm's length. But the more I thought about it, like one of the callers you'll hear that coming up, this next caller, she's got kids in the house. And so
that's fair.
Yeah, I guess, and it was interesting hearing the gal at the end of this last call. She said, I'm sorry, you can't come in. Establishing boundaries, but still being very helpful. I would struggle with that because I wouldn't want to come across as like insensitive or cruel or anything like that. But you also have a house to protect and you're not sure of what's going on. I guess another extenuating circumstance here is they're saying that they were just in a home where somebody was shot and now they're running around the neighborhood. You don't know who's coming after them.
Exactly.
So, yeah, at first I was like, man, I think I'd probably handle them differently. So before we play the next call, I wanted to give you a little bit of context into some of the people in the home, okay? And the main actor here, no pun intended actually, is a guy named Robert Crayton Jr., okay? He's head of the household.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play a little bit of something because he's not only the head of the household, but he's also an actor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's an actor. And he's played in a bunch of stuff. And I got a clip from his acting reel of
Is it like legit acting or is it?
legit acting. Fun fact to know and share, Robert Crayton was actually an actor in the Wu-Tang Clan movie.
Ah,
And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I got a little bit from his acting reel so you can hear the quality of this guy's acting. It's just audio. So.
okay. Is this from the Wu-Tang Clan movie?
No, this is from another movie he was in. So in this one, he's playing a detective.
You know what I always say? Crazy don't discriminate. You knew this guy, right?
Well, I knew of him. There was a case involving Stephen Drake some years ago. It was before he transferred here, but neither Emily or anybody in Harbortown has seen him since that night.
Why is that?
Five years ago, Stephen Drake's parents were found brutally murdered inside their home. No one was ever charged, and the only person of interest disappeared off the face of the earth.
Stephen Drake.
Stephen Drake.
All right, I'm going to take a wild guess at this. This guy suffers from a long history of mental illness, right?
As a matter of fact, less than 2 hours ago, Drake's former therapist, Marilyn Jennings, she was found carved up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
God. You want me to canvass the names?
Yes, do that. I'm going to have another talking about book.
So I play that for a couple reasons, because one, he was a decent actor.
Yeah.
He was in a bunch of stuff. He's got an IMDb out there, or at least he did when I was doing the research for this. And he's a decent actor. He's been in some things, probably nothing unless you watch the Wu-Tang movie.
I haven't.
Maybe nothing you've seen, but again, Hollywood's full of that. Hollywood and the movie production industry is full of people that just are picking up acting jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And this was kind of his gig. So, knowing that, we'll play this next call. This is the third one from a witness, and then we're kind of going to wander into the home and we'll figure out what's happened there.
All right. Let's hear it.
Okay. Here we go.
This is a great way to start the day.
Hello.
Ma'am, are you still there?
Yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. What's your name?
Yes.
And where are you currently at? What's your address?
Yes.
Okay. Do the people outside your house know who shot whoever's at 2734?
Let me ask them.
Okay.
Do you know who shot the person at that address? The man is saying that it was his father.
At my boyfriend's house.
Do you know if he still has the gun?
Something was he ran downstairs
Hold on.
and asked me where my boyfriend was and pointed the gun to his head, and I had to run as fast as I could.
Okay. Do you know if he still has the gun?
I'm sure he does. I don't know. I pulled the magazine out.
Okay. He said he's sure that he still has the gun. He pulled the magazine out. What kind of gun was it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Do you know? Can you ask him if his father's been drinking, doing any drugs, anything like that?
Okay. Has your father been drinking or doing any drugs? Do you know anything like that?
No, not that I'm aware. I don't know.
Okay. Give me just a second. I'm still on the line with 911. I'll call that number.
And do they? I heard what they said. Do you know? Do you know what is their father's name?
What's your father's name, sir?
What did they say?
You said, is that correct? Yes.
Okay, are they still outside your house currently?
Yes, they are. And the woman is saying the man she's with is her boyfriend, and she slept over at his house last night.
It was the female's boyfriend?
Yes. The two people that are in our, they're standing in the driveway now. I think I hear the police.
Okay.
Okay, they can.
Okay, are they still standing in your driveway currently?
No, they're standing on the porch now.
Are they talking with the police?
No, I hear the police, but I don't see them right now.
Okay. Can you stay on the phone with me until the police talk with them?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I just need to know if they leave, anything like that.
Okay.
Are the male? Can the male and female hear you on the camera again, or no?
I have to hold it to talk.
Okay. If by chance, can you ask them what their father's wearing?
Can you please tell me what your father's wearing?
He's wearing gray. Gray shirt, black pants. Possibly has on slippers.
Did you hear that, sir?
No, I didn't. What did he say?
He said gray shirt, gray pants, and slippers.
And what's the boyfriend's name?
What's your name, sir?
That's the male's name?
Yes.
So I'm just making sure the male on the porch is correct.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what's the female's name?
What's the woman's name you're with? Thank you. Did you get that, sir?
No, I didn't. What is it? And can you ask them the name of the individual that was shot?
Do you know the name of the person that was shot?
I don't know who was shot.
No, they don't know who was shot.
Okay. Can you tell them to step out to the front yard so that they can talk with police?
Okay. 911 is asking you to step out to the front yard so that you can talk with the police.
Are they here?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. They're at the house. Okay, they're walking. They're walking.
They're walking over.
Just come out of your house. I'm not going right there. I'm going right here. Is that them to me?
The woman doesn't feel comfortable walking.
What about the male?
They're both standing.
Okay. Can you ask them just to step in front of your front yard?
Okay. Just step down to the mailbox of our front yard, please. Okay, there's 2 officers in front of our house.
All right. They're speaking with them?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. No problem. All right. Bye.
Okay. So a little more information. I think honestly, we've added an element to our neighborhoods that's actually really beneficial now, because in this case, for example, everybody's got a Ring camera, right? And so this gal could still protect her children in her home from unknowns and help, because she was doing all the talking through the Ring camera with them. And so the 911 operator or dispatcher would ask her questions and she would then turn around and ask them.
Yeah.
And that, you know, in a situation where you're unsure or you feel vulnerable, that's a great way to do it. It actually happened yesterday when I had driven to the grocery store and I got an alert that there was somebody on the front doorstep.
Yeah.
And so I turned the Ring cam on to see who it was, and it was the missionaries. And then I was just kind of watching to see if Justine would open the door. And then as I'm on the Ring cam, I hear Justine through the Ring cam say, "Now's not a good time." So, and maybe that was because I wasn't here and she wasn't going to, let the crazy Mormons in. I don't know. But, it was kind of funny to watch it all go down. And it did make me think, and this reinforces that it's cool to know that there's like kind of an added level of protection now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can communicate with anybody that's on our doorsteps without exposing ourselves to too much risk.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about this. So Robert Crayton Jr., his life's kind of like if someone tried to mix a blockbuster movie with a really intense soap opera, but then they accidentally added a bit too much reality to it. So Robert, born in 1977, which means he grew up in the era of VHS tapes, and when the coolest thing you could do was rewind a movie, he decides acting is his thing. So not just any kind of acting, though. We're talking about starting off as Tank on True TV's Southern Fried Stings, which is apparently a pretty popular show when it was on. I mean, with a name like Tank, you're either going to be an actor or, I don't know, a really intimidating fish. So he chose acting over being a fish.
Only good thing on True TV nowadays is Impractical Jokers.
Oh, is that where that is? That's why I've never seen
That's it. That's the only reason it was True TV.
I don't think I have True TV. Do I have True TV?
We don't even got cable here.
You have to have cable to have True TV?
Yeah, like Apple TV.
Is it on the Apple TV?
Not Apple. I mean YouTube TV.
Okay.
Like I'm at my mom's house.
I'll have to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
So his career takes off, right? He's hopping from one role to another, like he's collecting TV shows and movie appearances, like baseball cards, right? He's in Wu-Tang, an American Saga, which is the name of the movie. And let me tell you, going from Tank to being part of the Wu-Tang Clan saga is like if I went from doing stand-up in a coffee shop to suddenly, I don't know, being asked to headline in Vegas. So it's a big step for him. And on Instagram, he's showing off being Warren Sapp on Young Rock.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of range you want to see in an actor. I mean, especially one that you might look at and be like, yeah, I like that actor. And then to see him do other things. So he was making his way through this. He was making some momentum. Wrestler to football player. So we're not talking about somebody who's just kind of, I don't know, sleeping on a bench at a skate park under a bridge.
Yeah.
You know, this guy's he's trying to make something of himself. But here's where it gets real. Despite having a career that's making leaps and bounds, his personal life is the kind of behind the scenes footage that you really don't want to know exists. It's tough. Acting was his bright spot and his way of saying, look, life's got its ups and downs, but here's what I can do.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of haunting, having listened to his acting reel, where he was talking about them trying to find a suspect who had extensive mental health issues. It's, it's a little foreshadowing, if you will, of maybe what was really happening in his life.
Yeah.
So when we talk about Robert Crayton Jr., we're talking about an actor who had also suffered from some severe mental issues. And he was the one back in 2022 that had actually been involuntarily committed for mental health reasons.
Yeah.
So I looked into it a little bit because I don't know if you've ever thought about that. Maybe you're like, oh man, I wonder if there's any way I could like commit my dad to a mental institution. Maybe he should, maybe he'd improve. I don't know. Have you ever thought that?
No, you're good.
Okay, good. Well, just so you know, it's not that easy actually to do it. So in order to involuntarily commit someone against their wishes, especially in North Carolina, you can have a layperson do it. Now, a layperson would be you or me or your mom or anybody that's not a professional. Like they can reach out, they can apply to have somebody involuntarily committed. But in order for that to take place, a magistrate has to review that. And then from there, so the magistrate can do one of three things. He can either issue a custody order, which means that, let's say you're the crazy person, not me. Let's say it's you.
I'll flip it around.
Okay, it's me. All right, I'm the crazy person. The magistrate or the judge can issue someone to be my custodial guardian.
Yeah.
So they could be like, Sam, you're now in charge of your dad. You got to do school, you got to go work at your burger job, and you got to babysit your dad. Okay, so the judge.
Do I get the company?
No, you don't get the company.
Dang.
Don't worry. If I ever get hit by a bus, I've got you taken care of.
That would not be bussing.
Well, it would not be busing.
Hey, I got you.
I see what you did there. No cap. Good job.
Hey, no more.
No more. Case. I apologize. I won't do it again.
It's all good.
The magistrate or the judge could also deny the petition. And at this point, so a layperson could do this. Also, a clinician could do it. So that's like a counselor or a psychiatrist. They could petition the state for somebody to be involuntarily committed.
Yeah.
So far they could give custody issue custody over that person to somebody else. They could deny it, or they could issue a custody order. And in that case, what happens is the officer transports that individual. And now custody could either be to an individual, or it could be at a facility where they have to first have an assessment done. So they're on a 24-hour hold in a facility. And then from there's a hearing. If they're still going through the process, all along the way here, they could deny that though, and they could just be set free. But after that exam, after 24 hours, then there's a hearing in front of a district judge. Has to take place within 10 days of the custody order. And then from there, the judge will either order outpatient commitment, order substance use commitment, or inpatient commitment. So that would be like, time spent at a mental institution, or the judge would just order their release. So I thought that was kind of interesting because, in my head, it was always sort of super simple. It's like, it was either yes or no. Can you ever really commit somebody involuntarily? And the answer in this case is sort of. So,
wow.
All right. So here's how things went. The situation just continues to escalate in this neighborhood. They keep going door to door.
Yeah.
They're getting neighbor after neighbor after neighbor to call 911, reports of shots fired and everything. So when officers arrived, they discovered a really tragic scene. There were 4 dead bodies inside the home.
4?
4.
How many people lived in that home?
At the time, there were 5 people living there. Yeah, 5 people. 2 people are now running around a neighborhood. Okay. And if you remember on the call.
So everybody in the house is dead except for the 2
that got away.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy that was knocking on the doors, you remember the lady said it's her dad that had the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So the son got out, and his girlfriend had been staying the night in the house with him.
Yeah.
And he wakes up, his dad's got a gun at his head.
Mm-hmm.
And so he takes off. Girlfriend and him both make it out of the house. Officers arrive. 4 dead bodies inside the home. The bodies of Robert Crayton Jr. He had shot and killed his wife, 46-year-old Athalia Art Athena Crayton, and her 3 children, 18-year-old Kaysen Crayton, as well as Nyla and Near, aged 10 and 16. It was revealed that Robert had been struggling with mental health issues and been involuntarily committed, as we discussed.
Jeez.
The crime scene was described as haunting, with a police captain expressing unpreparedness for the grim discovery. Now, there were some accounts of police officers that had to go through counseling and PTSD counseling because they said that they'd never seen anything as bad as what they had encountered inside that home.
Wow.
And it's just so tragic. So Athalia Crayton, the shooter's wife, she had served as a sergeant in the Army's 2nd Infantry Division and was also a life coach. After being in the Army, she had come home and become a life coach and an interior designer. And the 2 survivors of this shooting were 22-year-old man, remained unnamed, but was his son, as far as the call went, and the 25-year-old female, his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So according to the neighbor, the man recounted waking up with a gun to his head, but managed to escape with the female visitor. And now you can remember in the call, he said, when they asked him, does he still have a weapon? He said, yes, but I managed to take the magazine out of it. So when he wakes up, gun at his head, he grabs the gun and is wrestling it away and just manages to get his finger on that magazine release on the pistol. Magazine drops out. He grabs the magazine and takes off.
Was it chambered? Like, did he still have a round?
He could have had a round, but we know that he was successful in at least either prior to putting the gun at his head or afterward finding enough rounds to kill his wife, their children, and then, sadly, he turned the gun on himself and killed himself. So, and this motive is unknown. We don't know exactly
That's
what did it.
crazy.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's sad. So we're left with a whole tapestry of kind of like mysterious pieces. We've got a guy who had a good acting career going, it seemed. And, I would have to assume if it's anything like podcasting, it's got its ups and downs.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wu-Tang movie. Yeah. I mean, it's not on the level of like being on a popular 911 calls podcast,
Couldn't be.
but no one can expect that kind of success. But yet, so he seemed to be doing pretty well, but yet he struggled with mental health issues. And unfortunately, because of the way it ended and everything, there's not a lot of closure.
Yeah.
The community grieved. The schools actually had to make the sad announcement to their students that their fellow students had died.
Yeah.
18-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 16-year-old all had been killed. So just really, really a hard situation. There was no information as to the legality of the gun, which I've said this before on other episodes. It lends me to believe that the gun was probably registered to Robert, because when it's not, then it becomes news.
Yeah.
Everybody, if there's something to nibble on about gun rights and there's something in a case, they'll find it. This it fired up the whole gun right conversation again. And I think rightly so. I mean, gun rights and mental health are at odds all the time. And that should be something that we have the ability to discuss and I think refine the legislation on those things all the time. However, and I say however lightly, but however, I mean, we just talked about the involuntary commitment of somebody to a mental institution.
Yeah.
That's a circuitous process. It takes a while and it takes a lot of bodies. It takes a lot of people and time, assessments and everything. And although it seems maybe bureaucratic in a way, think of the flip side of that, where how terrible it might be, or how packed the process and all of the process and the mental health facilities, how packed that would be if it were easier to commit somebody. You'd have an angry significant other trying to commit somebody out of spite just because it's an easy process, or an angry parent who's mad at their kid for disobedience, trying to commit. So I'm glad in a way that the process takes as long as it takes. And in that same breath, from that same stance, I would say that our gun rights are precarious, yet they're in place. And it's hard to take someone's gun rights away for the same reason. Out of spite, somebody could try to say, hey, this person is a crazy person. They shouldn't be able to have guns. Yeah. And then their right to protect themselves is taken away prematurely or without review. Yeah. So it's not a perfect process, but the process currently stands to where there is some review. Although I think we could be doing better when it comes to the box being checked on, their mental fitness and their ability to have a firearm. I will ask the question, I think, and it's not answered anywhere, but if you're committed involuntarily a year prior, what are we talking about as far as the statute of limitations on your ability to register a firearm in your name again? I mean, if you're a prisoner and you get out of prison, you have to fulfill parole, and then oftentimes there's still a time period before you could go and own a firearm. In some cases, depending on the crime, it might be very long time or never. Yeah. And usually those are crimes of violence. Usually drug-related crimes don't bolt on that inability to take away your gun rights. But you got to do the time. So I thought I've said before, I don't really like doing murder-suicides because there's it just stops abruptly, and there's not a lot to talk about. But still, it's sad. How about a happy ending?
Hooray.
Hooray. Hooray, he says. All right. So here's a fun fact for you. Have you ever been so bored to death in an airport? I guess it's a question and followed up by a fun fact. So question. Hey, Sam.
What?
Hey, have you ever found yourself just so bored in an airport?
I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've been in an airport.
Okay. Well, the more popular you get, the more time you're probably going to spend in the air. So remember what I'm about to tell you about this fun fact, okay?
Yeah.
Fun fact. Did you know that there are several bars typically and places within an airport where you can go and sit and wait for your airplane to show up in a little while or as many hours as it's going to take, and you could just sit there and drink?
Oh, yeah.
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 You get totally lit in an airport.
They'll kick you out if you get too. I've seen.
Yeah, well, and that's kind of the funny thing is they have to. There is protocol in place. You're right.
Mhm.
It's actually it's an acronym called RSA, and it stands for Responsible Services of Alcohol or Responsible Service of Alcohol.
Yeah.
And so the staff is typically trained to be able to recognize signs of intoxication.
Yeah.
And then they're also qualified to refuse service. So staff.
Cut them off.
Yeah.
So they're not bugging out on the airplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's a fine line too is the establishment has to be wary of your level of intoxication, because if you got on a plane totally drunk and caused a big problem and that plane had to circle back and land or reroute, if it was determined that they were so drunk there's no way they could have done it without you not stopping giving them drinks, the establishment itself could be held liable.
Yeah.
And some of the costs incurred with redirecting a whole plane full of people and everything could be on the shoulders of the bar or the restaurant or wherever they got the alcohol. When you're on the plane, it's the same deal. There's the flight attendants have the ability to cut you off, or if you got crazy on a plane, they could redirect the plane and kick you off. So I thought that was kind of a little fun fact, and it's actually very much associated with this fun fact, this happy ending. So are you ready for me to press play? I might pause for here and there throughout this call. But just to give you a little heads up. So this is a gal that had been waiting for hours for her flight. And this is the audio of what transpired. Now picture this. She's drunk as a skunk. As she's in line to just beep her ticket to get on the plane, she has a full fistful, like a growler of alcohol in her hand. And then get this. She's not even walking. She's sitting on an electric rolling
moped. Oh,
like her carry-on itself is like a little scooter. And so she's on top of her luggage.
Airport DUI.
Yeah, pretty close. So she's rolling around on this electric scooter, one hand with the big drink in her hand. And the cops have already shown up because they know that she's too drunk to get on the plane. They're not going to let her on, but she's belligerent and won't get out of line. So that's where we start this call. You ready for me to hit play?
All right, let's hear it.
All right, here we go.
Go home and enjoy myself. I'm trying to go home.
See that?
But I've been here for hours.
Yeah, it happens.
I've been here for hours.
Yeah, bad weather. Gotta do something, right?
I don't know what we're gonna blame it on, but
Oh, watch out. Yeah, unfortunately, it's their policy. You just can't be that intoxicated when you fly in a plane, okay?
I'm not that intoxicated.
We need
The cops. It is Jim Leahy. It's Leahy.
Jim Leahy from the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah.
I'm not that intoxicated. All right. So I thought that was kind of funny. Here we'll keep playing it.
To go to the terminal. See?
Suck my. Oh, I can suck my.
Okay, Chelsea. Just go to the terminal.
Yo, I'll go. Wait a minute.
Okay. I'll help see her out. You guys are good. Oh man, that thing kind of goes fast.
So at this point, she had taken off from the terminal, whizzing down the corridors.
Do they have body cam?
Yeah, they're on body cam.
Oh, we got it.
Well, I'll post a link to the body
You got to
cam.
show me after.
I'll show you afterwards.
All right.
But yeah, so she just takes off on her little luggage scooter.
Sounds like the kind of reminds me of the road situation. Just tweaker lady. The cop's like, really? Just really?
Yeah, she's
Gotta
not moving
do
fast
this?
enough. Oh, also, this is an interesting thing. I don't see that. You don't see this very often, but apparently this cop is on a bike inside of the airport.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and I was trying to remember if I've ever seen that before, because it would make sense that cops would need a way to get around a little faster.
Yeah.
As a first responder. But
Sure.
anyway, so this dude's on a bike, so he sees her taking off. So here we go. We'll continue on.
Oh, let's hear it.
I think I'm faster, but I'm gonna have a bike pursuing a suitcase in a minute. It's gonna be crazy. I know. Totally normal, right? Chelsea, you gotta get off, the doors are gonna close. Negative, thank you.
So he caught up to her on one of the trams that takes you from terminal to terminal. So like the little subways that they have.
So she's sketching off of it like.
Yeah, she's on it. She got onto the terminal.
I was wondering if she's like sketching with the bag like that.
No, she's not riding along. So that you can get into the little subway cars inside of the airport, and it'll take you like the Disneyland ride to another terminal and drop you off.
Yeah.
And the doors open and she wasn't getting off. And so what happens with those is if the doors close, it just takes you round trip all the way around the airport again. So it doesn't stop or go back or anything like that. There's no human driving it. They're just automated electronic subway cars. So anyway, he's like, you got to get off. So here we go.
Chelsea, can you do me a favor? Can you roll with me to the main terminal? You can't hang out here. It's a secured area. I will just leave you alone. Yeah, follow me. Follow me, Chelsea. We'll roll out together. Chelsea, I'll race you. Chelsea, let's just roll our little wheels to the other side of TSA, okay? Because this is a secured area. I gotta have you on the other side of TSA, and then I promise you I will leave you alone. I'm a representative of the Orlando Police Department, and I have been nothing but polite and professional with you. Chelsea, look at me. Chelsea, look at me. Chelsea, look at me. Thank you. Chelsea, if this continues, you will be arrested for disorderly conduct. Chelsea, did you spit at me? She's done. She spit at me. Chelsea, you are under.
So at this point, Chelsea spits at him while she's on her little.
He was going to let her go.
I know.
That's easy.
She's making it so bad. Also, this is something I find is a repeated occurrence is when people are drunk, they can't seem to ever remember why the cop is talking to them. Like they tell them all the time, you're drunk, or they kicked you out of that bar, or I pulled you over for speeding, or you're driving down the wrong side of the road. They can never seem to remember.
Yeah.
And so this is just another one of those cases where she can't even remember why this dude is like chasing her down. And now she spit on him. So this escalates.
Arrest for transparent back now. Chelsea, you on arrest for transparent back now. Do not resist. Do not resist. Stop spitting. Do not spit.
I only spit one time.
Do not.
I only spit one time.
Is she hitting her head? No. Stop.
Again, another thing she was doing is as she's getting arrested, she spit twice on the police officer. And then while they're restraining her, she starts smacking her head into whatever she can find to smack it into. It's like the drunk mind says, I'm going to get some money out of this. And I'm going to make it look like you guys beat me up. But the drunk mind also forgets to look at his chest and see a body cam running the whole time.
Just like flopping around like a fish, pretty much.
Yeah, she's just flopping around, banging her head on stuff now and spitting on the officer. So
That's too good. I mean, not good, but too funny.
Stop spitting. Do not spit.
I only spit it one time.
Do not.
I only spit one time.
Is she hitting her head? Nope. Stop. Chelsea, stop. Chelsea, you need to stop this nonsense. You need to improve your behavior. Chelsea, stop this. Chelsea, stand up. Chelsea, stand up. All right, reverse. Chelsea, we're going to go in the car nice and easy, all right? All right, slide in. Watch your feet.
okay. That's the end of the call. I just thought, sometimes I think the happy ending is not necessarily in the silliness of the call, but more the patience that some of these police officers have to have with us citizens when we can't seem to control how much we drink and stuff. And this guy had the patience of Job. I mean, gosh, I could never be a police officer because I so quickly would have just like, I would have handcuffed her within like 10 seconds. And the moment she spit on me, oh my gosh, I would have.
I could do it.
You could be, I think you could. I think you're pretty chill. You could probably do it. I couldn't. I'd be angry cop all the time. I'd always be looking for good cop because I would like, okay, I'll play bad cop. You play good cop. And they're like, you're always wanting to play bad cop. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm always angry. But anyway, I thought that was an interesting little nugget.
Yeah, it was.
So here, we need to give some shout outs, which we have started doing as far as the research and writing and everything. You know, we have a huge staff now. So I highlighted some pieces. If you want to come around right here by me now, you read the red parts. And so this is shush, you just read it. Go ahead.
Are we going to get sued for this?
Nope.
Okay. This episode was researched, written, and produced by me, Aaron Mankey.
Yeah, the operator. With special guest Sam 2.0. Due to his age, Sam was accompanied by his father while on the set of the 911 Calls podcast.
Thanks for being here, Dad. You're a great dad compared to all other dads. I'd give you 5 stars. Would recommend.
This podcast should not be consumed while under the influence of alcohol or while under an airplane. If you like the show, please consider. Oh, did I say under? While on an airplane. While on an air, not under. Dang it. If you like the show, please consider helping me pay for Sam 2.0's braces.
Gee, my jaw sure does hurt when I was the victim of breaking my jaw, when I was totally just laying my face into the bottom of a skate park cement feature. Ride volcanoes. Don't ride volcanoes, kids.
You can support us by supporting us. Dang it, who wrote this? You can support us by supporting us on Patreon. Patreon.com/1159media or on 1159plus.com.
If you don't have $5 that you can loan my dad, consider giving us a several star rating and leaving us a review that won't compel him to stay in bed all day long. Hey. So he does take it personally though. So
I do. I tend to spend a lot of
5 stars, people. Understand? All right.
And if you're ever in my house, stop by and say hi.
I like it when people say hi.
That's what Aaron Mankey said.
You're not Aaron Mankey. I'm not Aaron Mankey.
Whatever.
And I don't want people in my house.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we'll just talk to you through the Ring doorbell. See?
I don't even want them that close.
Well, okay. Hugs, everybody.
Hugs. Aaron Mankey.